Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back to Cilinix Crypto. Hope you're all doing great, and welcome to the channel as well, of course, if you're new. Welcome to this new video right here on the crypto markets. We'll do a deep dive right now on the current market situation. We'll talk a little bit about fundamentals. We'll talk a little bit, general fundamentals, and then we'll talk a little bit about crypto-specific fundamentals. And then we'll talk about Bitcoin, we'll talk about XRP, and we'll talk about some interesting altcoins, even though, look, most altcoins right now are just incredibly correlated to Bitcoin, with some exceptions. I mean, you can see something like Sui, something like Jasmy that's rallying quite independently, but most coins are still very correlated to Bitcoin. So if we talk about Bitcoin and we talk about the possibilities for that, you will also have a better understanding of what to expect from altcoins. And if you want to know my general thoughts on the entire altcoin market, I made a video this morning talking about whether alt season is starting. There we actually take a look at some altcoin indices charts. Incredibly useful, but check that out if you want some more information and if you want some more guidance on whether you should actually expect a massive altcoin bull run right now. Short answer is, I don't think so. But alright, so fundamentals quite good. The pre-market for the US equities traded much higher, as you can see. So that has led to an S&P 500 opening. Always looks very weird. It's like a little planet in space. But we opened much higher. So far, that's also still relatively strong. And I haven't checked the news in the last 30 minutes. So maybe we had a little bit more of an ease of tension regarding the trade war. I don't know, but in general, this is relatively positive. I mean, I do think you need to be aware of the fact that we left two gaps to the downside. So ultimately, those will be filled, and if the S&P 500 drops down, that also has a bearish impact on Bitcoin. But so far, so good, all right? And you can also see, like, this is not just the S&P 500. You can see across the board with the volatility index dropping down, with gold dropping down, and with US bond yields also dropping down, even though I cannot show you the chart for that. It's to my left. That means that stability, at least for now, is coming back into the market, right? So at least for now, that has a positive effect. However, so the fundamentals are quite good, right? If you take a look at your stock portfolio, I think you'll be smiling compared to the last couple of weeks. However, the main thing is that one of the main things that pushed Bitcoin up in the last 2 days, Monday and Tuesday, is that we actually had an independent momentum for crypto as well. All right, what you saw is that the volume for crypto, first of all, was incredibly high. If we go to the 4-hour time frame, you can see on Monday during the US session, and then yesterday during the US session, volume absolutely spiked up. And then at the same point of time, we actually had a very high and sustained Coinbase Bitcoin premium. And that is the main question. Look, the US market has just opened. That's going to be the main question. All right, can we actually keep some sort of capital, aka volume, coming back into the markets, and can we push up higher towards our next target, which conservatively, in my opinion, is around 96,500. Which, if you zoom out here, is the point of control, aka where most of the liquidity is from this previous range we had between 102 and 92. All right, so the big question is well, can we actually see that independent bid coming back in? Because the stock markets are doing quite good, but that is no guarantee that Bitcoin will follow. And like I said, there is a gap to the downside, and if we have one bearish headline, we're going to fill that gap to the downside. And if there's no independent bid coming in from the US, or at least during the US session, Bitcoin can pull back as far as 88, 87, 86,000 very quickly, right? And then at least for now, I would say that's most likely, right? We're at a major resistance level right here, between 95,000 and 92,000. It's a pretty big level. And then so far, all right, so that is, look, you should take into account, I'm saying so far, all right? So far, we're also seeing that no added volume coming into the markets, and we're seeing some other bearish divergences with the RSI and the open interest. All right, so therefore, I still look. You should definitely not short Bitcoin right now with a very tight stop loss or something, because I still think, like, even if Bitcoin is going to fall right here, there's a high chance of getting one liquidation spike up still. But I do think it's most likely we are going to be falling back here into 90,000, and if we're unable to get a strong bounce from 90,000, we can super quickly fall down all the way to 88 and 87,000. Well, at least this initial part is what I think is most likely. Then depending on the move at 90,000, we'll either do this or we can hold that and rally into 96,000 afterwards. So those are my thoughts. But like I said, I mean, the US market has just opened. It has just opened for about 7 minutes. So this is, we'll still have to see. I mean, if we actually do see strong volume come into the price, with a Coinbase Bitcoin premium, which we still have right now, like I said, we're going to easily push into 96,000, and that's also what we're trying right now. So yeah, I'd say this is most likely right here. That's for Bitcoin. Like I said, most altcoins will probably follow Bitcoin. S&P 500 pushing, by the way. That almost makes me think we have some news, but I'll check after the video. But XRP, I still think the same about that. I just got an alert that Bitcoin dominance is pushing down a little bit, or at least that's, well, it has pulled back a bit here. For XRP, I still think it's most likely will push into that major liquidity zone at 2.4, 2.45. And talking about altcoins, I mean, as you can see right here, a lot of altcoins are very correlated. So the main thing that I would do personally is focus on the altcoins that have the highest volume, right? So at this point of time, that's Solana. Solana still looks incredibly strong. Turbo is very risky, but at this point of time also still looks very strong. And then what more do we have? Virtual, all right, so that's AI agents. That's very strong right here. I'm getting a lot of alerts right here, so that's interesting. But virtual, quite interesting, and that's also new. Like usually that doesn't have this amount of volume. And that's about it. I mean, a lot of altcoins, just to take a moment to look at that. A lot of altcoins are looking very similar, where, for example, Solana has just broken 145. We're trying to hold that and rally up higher. Same thing for Sui. Sui has broken 2.5, 2.6. Same thing for Ondo. Ondo has broken 92 cents. So what we need to see right now is that independent bid coming in for Bitcoin, and then a good retest of all the levels that have been broken for altcoins. And that's it, all right? That's what I think you need to know for now. It's going to be a pretty crucial day, all right? Or at least, well, yeah, today's, tomorrow is also going to be crucial depending on how today goes. But it's very crucial to see whether we have that momentum coming back in over the course of the next 2 hours, I'd say. So I'll be back with new updates whenever necessary. For now, I think that's what you need to know. So thank you for watching. Take care and bye.